Jasmine Pineda's new existence, Matt's challenges, and Gino's grief. Star of 90 Day Fiancé, Jasmine Pineda has entered into a new marriage, thereby abandoning her son to commence a fresh life with her new spouse. Her former boyfriend, Matt, is experiencing profound distress and anxiety following his abrupt departure, leaving their son behind. The prospect of raising this youngster alone perpetually distresses him. Gino, formerly in a profound relationship with Jasmine, conveyed his sorrow at the news. "I was not anticipating Jasmine to make such a decision." He expressed sorrow for the child's future. Conversely, Jasmine explicitly declared, "I will not return. I intend to remain with my new husband. This is my definitive decision." Jasmine's choice astonished many in her vicinity. Nonetheless, she is resolute in embarking on a new chapter for her future and her loved ones. Jasmine Pineda had perpetually envisioned a love capable of enduring vast distances, emotional turmoil, and the passage of time. She believed she discovered it once, or so she presumed, in Gino. Conversely, in Matthew. However, destiny had alternative intentions. She has abandoned everything, her history, her child, and her accustomed life, to pursue what she perceives as her final opportunity for genuine happiness. Although filming concluded months prior, Jasmine's life underwent a drastic transformation that even the producers did not anticipate. She entered into a second marriage, silently, abruptly, and fervently. On this occasion, she not only departed from a relationship, but also abandoned her son with Matt. For Matt, the world disintegrated abruptly. At one point, he was co-parenting with a lady for whom he still held profound affection. Subsequently, he confronted the daunting journey of single fatherhood. He has not been sleeping. Acquaintances report that he perpetually traverses the corridor, preoccupied with concerns over diapers, meals, and the future of a child he never anticipated raising alone. "I am apprehensive," Matt confessed during a confidential interview. "I fear I may not suffice for him. I believed we constituted a family. I was unprepared for this outcome." The community united in support of Matt, with strangers providing diapers, groceries, and even giving babysitting assistance. However, emotional assistance did not alleviate his heartbreak, particularly when Jasmine dispatched a conclusive message, "I will not return. I must adhere to my convictions. I cherish my son. Nevertheless, I must also prioritize my own life." Simultaneously, Gino, her former fiancé, remained silent upon receiving the news. The man who before vied fervently for Jasmine's affection now observed from the periphery, astonished. Upon eventually addressing the press, his remarks were grave. "It devastates me. Jasmine was fervent and impetuous, yet I never anticipated she would abandon her child. I sincerely want that the young guy matures with the understanding that he was perpetually cherished." Conversely, Jasmine perceives matters differently. Her new spouse, Alejandro, a charismatic Colombian entrepreneur, provided her with a sense of recognition hitherto unknown to her. "In Alejandro's presence, I experience tranquility, equilibrium. It is what I have consistently required. I do not anticipate universal comprehension, yet this is my existence. I opt to live according to my own principles." The digital realm was divided. Some deemed her egocentric. Others deemed her courageous. Mental health professionals opined that Jasmine may have endured prolonged suffering in quiet, managing emotional trauma while attempting to conform to roles she did not select. Her sister, speaking anonymously, disclosed, "Jasmine consistently made sacrifices. For men, for her offspring, for appearance. On this occasion, she prioritized her own needs. Nevertheless, nothing is uncomplicated. Jasmine transmits funds, occasionally initiates calls, and endeavors to maintain a connection, although the child, at 3 years of age, lacks comprehension. He continues to request his mother at night." As the weeks progress, Matt clings to hope, not for Jasmine's return, but for the fortitude to fulfill the roles of both mother and father. "I shall rear him," he states. "Although I may be fractured, I will never allow him to perceive abandonment." What about Jasmine? She strolls around the beaches of Cartagena, hand in hand with Alejandro, gazing at the horizon. A lady caught in a conflict between remorse and rejuvenation. A mother who departed, a lover who remained, and a past that may never fully release her. Only time will reveal whether Jasmine's pursuit of love will yield tranquilly or a different form of grief. Nevertheless, months had elapsed since Jasmine Pineda departed from Gino Palazzolo, forsaking the emotions, memories, and intricate romance that had previously captivated millions of people. Following a tumultuous separation characterized by allegations, cultural discord, and eroded trust, Jasmine and Gino parted ways, emotionally wounded yet never entirely severed. TLC resumes filming as it reunites the former pair for an unforeseen development. Jasmine and Gino are convening in Miami for a week-long retreat to assess the viability of their relationship. Jasmine exited her vehicle clad in an exquisite flowery outfit, her gaze surveying the beachside hotel entrance. Gino, adorned in his characteristic baseball cap and a meticulously pressed polo, rose anxiously. Upon their eyes meeting, neither uttered a word for an instant. A tentative smile emerged, gentle, nearly overlooked. "Greetings, Gino," Jasmine remarked. "Greetings, Jasmine. You appear stunning," Gino responded. They embraced momentarily, clumsy yet genuine. During supper, emotions were unleashed. Jasmine raised the notorious messages and her persistent skepticism over Gino's motives. Gino admitted that he frequently revisits their previous conversations during sleepless nights. "I feared losing you, Jasmine. However, I was unaware of the appropriate method to advocate for you. I did not require an ideal man, Gino. I required a truthful individual," she stated, suppressing her tears. In an unusual decision for the series, the pair consented to participate in a combined therapy session, an initiative Jasmine had previously advocated for, but Gino had declined. The session disclosed that both individuals harbored unresolved pain from previous relationships. Jasmine's troubles with trust. Gino's apprehension of abandonment. The therapist encouraged them to begin anew, not based on recollection, but on purpose. They engaged in activities previously unattempted: parasailing, beach yoga, and an unexpected salsa evening. Jasmine laughed as if she had not done so in years. Gino astonished her by attempting to dance, albeit ineffectively. That evening, on the hotel balcony, Gino presented Jasmine with a gift, a compact scrapbook containing their photographs, accompanied by a note that read, "This time, I aspire to cultivate a love that requires no repair." She wept. This time, it sprung not from anger or disappointment, but from hope. The last camera confessional at the week's end was fraught with tension. Initially, Jasmine sat in solitude. "I did not anticipate experiencing any emotions again. However, he astonished me. I observed remnants of the man I once loved, and perhaps I may be able to trust him once more." Gino stated, "She has consistently exhibited fervor. I believed I had lost her eternally. However, if she is prepared to take another opportunity, I will dedicate the remainder of my life to demonstrating my value." Nonetheless, as the sun barely rose above Michigan, Gino Palazzolo paced anxiously in his kitchen, sipping lukewarm coffee and staring at the meticulously folded document on the table. Jasmine Pineda, the fervent and ardent woman from Panama with whom he had been profoundly enamored, was set to arrive in a few hours. They had seen numerous fluctuations in their relationship, from trust dilemmas to intense disputes, but despite these challenges, they remained united. Nonetheless, on this occasion, it was neither jealousy nor former partners inciting conflict. It constituted a prenuptial agreement. Following extensive consultations with his family and legal counsel, Gino resolved to offer Jasmine a prenuptial agreement. Not due to a lack of faith in her, but because his history had instilled in him the necessity to safeguard his possessions. However, he concerned that this action could jeopardize the delicate trust they had reestablished. Upon disembarking the aircraft, Jasmine's smile illuminated the terminal. They embraced, exchanged kisses, and laughed, reminiscent of bygone days. However, Gino was unable to relax. The burden of the unresolved discussion was overwhelming him. That evening, during dinner at a little Italian restaurant, Gino inhaled deeply. "Jasmine, I must discuss something significant with you," he said tentatively, his fingers anxiously drumming on his glass. Her smile diminished marginally. "What is it, my love?" "I consulted with an attorney," he stated, his voice quivering. "They proposed a prenuptial agreement." Jasmine blinked, astonished. "Do you require me to endorse a prenuptial agreement?" "My lack of trust is not the reason," Gino stated promptly. "It is merely, I have diligently labored for my possessions, and this measure is intended to safeguard us both. Should we, heaven forbid, not succeed, this clarifies matters." Jasmine's hands gradually descended to her lap. Her voice was gentle yet resolute. "Do you believe we will fail? Do you believe I am here for your financial resources?" "Negative, negative," Gino exclaimed in a state of terror. "I recognize the sacrifices you have made to be present. I am aware of your affection for me. This is merely a safeguard. For the two of us." Tears accumulated in Jasmine's eyes. "I did not abandon my life, my career, and my son in Panama to be regarded as a gold digger." A silence ensued between them. Subsequently, Jasmine rose and exited the premises. Gino trailed behind, his heart racing. She positioned herself adjacent to the parking lot, gazing upward at the sky. "I entrusted you with my heart, Gino," she stated. "However, this prenuptial agreement conveys a sense of distrust." Gino approached, delicately caressing her arm. "Kindly refrain from interpreting it in that manner. Let us peruse it collectively. Let us rectify any perceived injustices. I desire for us to safeguard one another." Following an extended silence, Jasmine gradually nodded. Subsequently, "We shall undertake it collaboratively, not due to my intention to depart, but to demonstrate that my presence is solely motivated by love." Later that evening, they sat adjacent on the couch, meticulously reviewing each clause of the prenup, annotating, modifying phrases, and, crucially, engaging in candid dialogue. The focus has shifted away from the document. It pertained to transparency, integrity, and the resolution of past anxieties. Upon signing, they were not merely consenting to a contract. They were establishing a new dimension of trust. Nevertheless, following an exuberant wedding replete with emotions, laughing, and some characteristic Jasmine-Gino disputes, the newlyweds embarked on their eagerly anticipated honeymoon. Jasmine Pineda and Gino Palazzolo, the beloved couple from 90 Day Fiancé, were prepared to set aside their turmoil, if only temporarily, and welcome the promising onset of their new chapter. They selected an opulent yet isolated island in the Caribbean for their honeymoon. Turquoise waters, pristine sands, and no Wi-Fi. "Excellent," Jasmine proclaimed. "No diversions, solely you and I." Gino, always the meticulous planner, possessed a suitcase filled with sunscreen, bug spray, and a detailed agenda for each hour. Jasmine expressed her disdain by an eye roll. "This is not a school field trip, Gino," she jested. However, their disparities quickly became apparent in the tropics. On the first day, Jasmine desired to engage in parasailing. Gino? Apprehensive. "Jasmine, I refuse to be harnessed to a parachute above the ocean. What if it fractures?" "You wed a Latina lioness, and you fear the wind," she taunted. Ultimately, Gino capitulated and wailed during the entire flight as Jasmine laughed hysterically from above. Day 2 yielded unforeseen tranquility. The couple received a couple's massage in a bamboo hut on the beach. As gentle waves caressed the shore and the light enveloped their skin, Jasmine said, "This is how I have always envisioned love should feel." Gino gazed at her earnestly and declared, "I may not always comprehend you, but I will always love you." However, the honeymoon was not only characterized by sunsets and spas. On day 3, Jasmine uncovered that Gino had clandestinely brought goodies from Michigan to evade sampling the island cuisine. "You brought jerky to a luxury resort?" "Darling, my stomach is sensitive," he asserted. "Are you aware of what is sensitive?" "My forbearance." They quarreled, reconciled, then quarreled once more, until an unexpected sunset meal transformed everything. Gino prepared a secluded beach arrangement featuring heart-shaped candles and Jasmine's preferred vegan cuisine. He rose during the lunch, grasped Jasmine's hands, and declared, "This week has revealed to me that love is not about perfection. It is about selecting one another amidst all imperfections." Jasmine, with tearful eyes, responded, "Then continue to choose me, even when I exasperate you." They concluded the evening with a dance under the moonlight, barefoot on the sand, accompanied by the faint melodies of a distant beach band. At the conclusion of their honeymoon, Jasmine and Gino returned not as an ideal couple, but as an authentic couple. A person who has laughed, struggled, loved, and become somewhat stronger. Their perpetual bliss? Continuing to develop. However, one aspect seemed unequivocal. It would be an unpredictable and indelible experience. Greetings, esteemed viewers. Welcome to my channel. I am Amelia. I hope your day is going well. If you like the video, please remember to subscribe to the channel.